Let's be real. There are racist people who genuinely believe black people are less intelligent. They don't always say it directly, but you can hear it in how they talk and what they react to.
They got lesser IQ.
Dumb black people.
It's 2 standard deviations lower in IQ.
The average IQ is under 75, which is considered mentally disabled.
You'll watch a clip of a black person speaking clearly, breaking something down, making a strong point, and the reaction isn't always normal respect. It's surprise. It's that subtle, wow, I didn't expect that.
We just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you. It's such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully?
And that tells you everything, because nobody should be shocked at basic intelligence.
You speak really well. You speak so well. That compliment is never going to be taken well.
If your first reaction is surprise, that means you already had a different expectation before that person even opened their mouth. And now that everything is recorded, interviews, podcasts, street conversations, you can actually watch these moments happen in real time. You don't have to guess how people think anymore. They show you. People act like this mindset is hidden, but it's really not. If you spend enough time watching interviews, podcast clips, or even street debates, you'll see people casually saying things like black people don't value education, or that we're naturally behind, or that we don't apply ourselves. They won't always yell it. They'll say it calmly, like they're being logical, like it's a neutral observation instead of a stereotype they've been fed their entire life.
Why do black people have the lowest IQ out of all races?
Pretty dumb. Probably 10 points lower IQ than white people. Plus you have that sub-Saharan gene, which makes you a jungle bunny.
That's what makes it worse, because now it's not just hate, it's belief. And when someone genuinely believes something like that, they don't feel racist, they feel correct. So now you're not just dealing with disrespect, you're dealing with people that feel like they have facts on their side. One of the clearest moments is when a black person doesn't fit the stereotype at all. And instead of respect, you get pushback. You'll see it in debates, interviews, even casual conversations where a black person is calm, informed, and making solid points, and the other person is starting to get irritated for no real reason. Not because the point is wrong, but because it's coming from someone they didn't expect to sound like that.
I got a stalemate because now you're claiming something and I'm claiming something from the same source. So
70% of the people that have been deported under interior removals are not convicted criminals, and that is a fact.
That's not a fact. I came here with a piece of data. You completely rewrote it in real time.
No, I gave you the facts.
You completely rewrote it. I mean, I'm surprised you ran for Congress. You're one of the most disingenuous, dishonest people that I've ever met in my entire life. I was literally...
And there are plenty of moments like this where the tone shifts out of nowhere. The conversation goes from normal to tense the moment a black person shows they actually know what they're talking about. It's like the other person starts scrambling, interrupting more, raising their voice, or trying to move the goalpost just to regain control of the situation. Because now their assumption is being challenged in real time. And instead of adjusting their assumption, they try to shut it down in that moment. And that reaction says more than anything they could have said out loud. Because if intelligence from a black person frustrates you instead of being accepted, then the problem was never the conversation. It was your expectation walking into it.
What did he say that was hateful?
I have a link right here actually for you. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder if she's there because of her excellence or there perform performative action.
And you're taking a lot of these out of context.
What about we need to have a Nuremberg style trial for every gender affirming clinic doctor? We need it immediately.
I agree.
That's what a God-fearing man apparently said.
He did not say that.
I mean,
you're full of shit.
So the reason I pulled you over is because your tag lights are out on your license plate, all right?
Tag lights are out?
Yes, sir.
You mind if I check?
Afterwards.
So I can't check right now?
Not right now.
Why not?
Because I'm telling you, you can't.
I'm pretty sure it's my right that I can check if you're saying that my light is out.
I am telling you to stay in the vehicle, which is a lawful order.
Reason?
Because I do not want you out of the vehicle right now.
That's not a lawful command.
I am telling you to stay in the vehicle now. Do you understand if you get out of the vehicle, you will be arrested for disobeying a lawful order?
What's the lawful order?
All right, do you have your driver's license?
Call your supervisor down here. You saw me take my driver's license out. Call your supervisor down here.
For what reason?
I'm requesting a supervisor. It is your policy to get your supervisor out here when a citizen requests a supervisor.
Another thing you'll notice is how quick racist people question how a black person got to where they are. You'll see clips of black students getting into top schools, black professionals speaking on their success, or even just somebody doing well for themselves. And the first reaction isn't respect, it's suspicion. People start talking about affirmative action, DEI, or acting like something was handed to them, like there had to be some shortcut involved.
He posted a picture going, black women are losing their jobs at astronomical numbers. It's 300,000 people since 2025. You know why that is? It's called DEI. They were hired by fucking accident. They were hired and then they had to weed them out because they weren't doing, maybe it just wasn't working out. So yeah, it was called DEI. and they got rid of him.
I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
The amount of times I've been called a DEI CR native speaker is crazy. But what I don't see is you here. So you're not even qualified to tell me I'm not qualified.
And you'll see this all over interviews, street questions, even comment sections where people are basically saying, without saying it, that a black person couldn't have earned that straight up. That mindset is deeper than people think, because nobody questions success like that unless they already believe you weren't capable of achieving it on your own. It's not about facts at that point. It's about protecting the idea that you're not supposed to be there in the first place. And instead of updating that belief when they see proof in front of them, they look for a reason to discredit it. That's how you know it was never about achievement. It was about who achieved it. At the same time, negative clips spread faster and get treated like proof.
Guys, it's a tale as old as time. Chimps are always going to chimp out, okay? Chimps say chimpin'.
And that's the only side of the community that they always show. And it's very disingenuous. And you got those racist losers in the comments. They love seeing stuff like that from us, which, by the way, is a very small percentage of the black community. But since they like to react to videos of our worst moments, how about we do the same with them?
First time trying the Arch Burger. This is my lunch, by the way. Just a small bite. Holy shit! What the fuck was in that burger?
We can play this game all day. Y'all bring up something stupid that we did, we gonna bring up something stupid that y'all do. If there's a video of a black person acting out or doing something reckless, it gets shared everywhere. And suddenly it represents everybody in the community. People point to it like evidence, like it confirms everything they already believe. But the thousands of examples that don't fit that narrative don't get the same attention because they don't serve the story that people are trying to tell.
What's your age? 33. And how much would you say you make annually? 12 million.
Glover is headed to space, but this time specifically, he'll be the first black man to fly around the moon.
So you end up in a loop where only certain images get amplified, and those images keep reinforcing the same stereotype over and over again. When you don't fit that image, the reaction is always interesting. Instead of just being seen as normal, you're labeled as different, exceptional, or one of the good ones. And there are plenty of clips of people saying this directly, smiling like it's a compliment, not realizing how disrespectful it actually is.
Why does 13% make up over 50% of violent crimes?
Because niggas is retarded. And I'm tired of it. I just had this conversation. I got black fatigue. I'm tired of niggas that look like me buffooning around, monkeying around 24/7 and make us look bad. Get rid of them. Throw them away.
And that's how you become one of the good ones in their eyes. You have to degrade yourself and your community.
Funniest shit ever is when a racist white person finds a POC or just any fucking person of color that allows them to be racist towards them. They'll be like, oh, this is a good guy. You know, he's one of the good ones. He's actually respectable. And they're calling him respectable because he's just allowing them to talk shit about his race and allowing them to degrade him.
Because what they're really saying is their expectation for most black people was already low. So now your normal behavior feels like you exceeded something that was never supposed to be low in the first place. This mindset doesn't stay online. It shows up in classrooms where teachers assume certain students won't perform well before they even try. It shows up in workplaces where you have to explain yourself more, prove yourself more, and still get second guessed. And you can find clips of these situations too. People getting exposed, called out, or recorded in the moment.
They're too dumb to know they're in a bad school. I mean, but apparently Martin Luther King said it. Like, if you train a black person well enough, they'll know to use the back. You don't have to tell them anymore.
The only difference is not everything gets caught on camera. To be honest with you, majority of it doesn't, and it never will. But just because it's not recorded does not mean it's not happening. Letting go of that belief would force people to question a lot more than they're comfortable with. Because if black people aren't less intelligent, then you have to start asking why certain gaps exist, and that leads into conversations about systems, history, and access. And a lot of people don't want to go there. It's easier to believe the stereotype than to question the structure. So the idea stays alive, not because it's true, but because it's convenient. At the end of the day, this isn't about intelligence at all. It's about expectation and perception, and the internet has made that impossible to hide. You can literally watch how people react, what they assume, and what they choose to believe all in real time. And once you start paying attention to the reactions instead of the words, the pattern becomes obvious. That's when it stops being confusing. You realize it was never about proving anything. It was about people holding on to an idea that they were taught and refusing to let it go, even when reality is right in front of them.